Okay. So today, last class, what did we discuss? We discussed about the for loop conditional statement, collection data type, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about for loop for SOQL. So SOQL is, first try to understand what is a SOQL. So SOQL is Salesforce object language, object query language. Query language. So for SOQL is basically a query string. What I'm doing it, object query. Why do we use a SOQL? To query the object. To query the object. When I say query the object, to retrieve the account data. To retrieve the account data from the Salesforce database, or to retrieve any object. Could be a contact or could be a custom object or anything. To retrieve the specific table data, we are going to use a SOQL. SOQL is built in query string. Query string used to retrieve data from Salesforce object. It could be a custom object or it could be a standard object. It could be a standard object or it could be a custom object. Any object data that I wanted to get it from the Salesforce database, then I'm going to use this. So that means SOQL is to the specific to the table. If I know the table, if I know the object, then I'm going to retrieve the data from that object or that particular table. So what is the usage of this? The first one, in the query string parameter, so in the query string parameter, in the query call, like what are the places we use is basically we use it in SOQL, we use it in the Apex statement, we use in the visualforce controller, we use in the schema explorer, force.ide, force.com IDE. So we have something called query call. So I'll explain that later. So there is a query call, query string parameter. And also we use it in the Apex statement. Whenever we are writing the business logic, we use that. And we can use it on the visualforce controller. I'm not talking about the visualforce UI page. For the visualforce, we have a controller. So in that controller, we write in schema explorer like force.com IDE. In schema explorer of force.com IDE, we use this. So how do we write the SOQL construct? How do we write the SOQL? SOQL is, as I said, it is a table specific. Okay, there are 4 keywords. It will be more keywords are there, but let's understand initial basic SOQL, how to write it. So first, basic SOQL, in order to write it, you first need to know the table name. What is the table name here? It could be a account, or it could be a contact, or it could be a account or contact or any object or custom object, patient underscore underscore C. Patient underscore underscore C. So the last one is, fourth one is, you need to know the table name. You need to know the table name. So from the table name, that means this is a standard keyword from the specific table. From the specific table, I wanted to retrieve certain information. So how do I retrieve the certain information? I need to know the fields. If I go to the account object, right? If I go to the object manager and if I try to open the account, I'll see all the fields in the account. But if I am interested to know only the account name and account phone number, fax, only these three I need to know. So that means only these three fields I need. So where do I mention that? I'll mention here the field names. What are these field names specific to the table? If I am searching for, if I'm querying for the contact object, then here from contact, and I'm going to give the field name of contacts, first name, last name from the contact. Then the starting letter will be the select. Select is the common, from is the common. Okay, so select is the common. This will not be changed. This will not be changed. These are the static. Select and from is a static. The one which are going to change is the field name and the table name. Field name and the table name. Table name is going to talk about the contact object or any custom object like a patient object, right? And for this, what are the table that I'm talking, what are the table that I wanted to retrieve, for that particular table fields. If I wanted to retrieve the data from the contact, then I'm interested to capture the information of fields. So this fields is related to the only contact. If I'm interested to get the information related to patient, so my table name will be the patient. So now here fields which are related to the patient, only related to the patient that I'm going to capture, right? Select and from are common. Select a fields, first name, last name from contact. So that is my query. So how I'm going to write the query finally? I'm going to write the query for finally select field name, first name, comma, last name, comma, let's take more values. I'll be having the account ID. At the contact level, we have the account ID. Okay. From is the standard keyword. From table name, contact. Right? From table name is the contact. Now clear? Select first name, last name, account ID. From the contact. What is the account ID? Account ID is, if you go to the Salesforce, if I go to the contact, open any contact. So in the contact, along with the first name, last name, I'll have some more information. Like this name is divided into the first name. This is my first name. This is my last name. Account ID is nothing but this is the account name. Account name is nothing but account ID. That is the API name, which is called as a account ID. For the account name, API name is account ID. So that's what I did it here. Select is the common keyword. And then I have used the field names. For which field names? For the contact object. For the contact object, we need of these fields. So this is how we write a standard basic SOQL. This is the basic SOQL. Now, what will happen if I write this? I'm going to get all the contacts that are exist in the organization. Like if I'm going to run this, let's go ahead and see how to execute this. Now, okay, so I'll close all. Now in the developer console, if you wanted to execute the SOQL, okay, if you wanted to execute the SOQL and see the output, come to the bottom, open the developer console, come to the bottom. Here we have a query editor. We have something called query editor. Query editor is specifically for the SOQL and SOSL. We'll come to the SOSL later. For now, focus on the SOQL. So here, as click on this query editor is only for the querying the object information, querying the table information, retrieving the table data. So we use query editor. So in this query editor, we write the SOQL. How do I write it? Select whatever the fields are there from whichever the object is there. Okay, let's go ahead and enter the information here. Now I have a first name, last name, account ID from contact. Now if I try to execute, in order to execute this, what we have to do is execute. So there are 40 records are there in my system, right? There are 40 records are there. Let's go ahead and see. Let's see for all the contact, 40 items. So total contacts that I have is 40 items. So all the 40 items are retrieved. All the 40 items are retrieved. Now I wanted to filter more of this. I'm not interested for all the 40. I'm not interested all the 40 because looping through the each one of them is going to take time for me. So instead of this, what I'll do is I filter out. I filter this query to get less amount, less records, because I need to know what are those filter conditions. Now in this case, I have all the contact. Okay. In all the contact, we have something called email field. Okay. So the requirement says that I need only the contacts that have the email ID. Wherever the email ID is there, only get this. Only the get. So that means the one which are email is there. So how many are there? 10 records does not have the email ID. So that means 30 records I'm going to get. I have to get. Actual contacts are 30 records because 10 records does not have the email ID. Now, how can I filter out? For the filtering condition, what we write is where. Where is the standard keyword? Where is the standard keyword? So I'm saying that get me the records from this table, but look at where I need to look at for the where email is not equal to null. Where email is not equal to null. Okay, so it's like a pick up the information, pick up the data, but only look for the one which has a color white. It's similar like if I'm picking up the ball from the box. I have a box where the multiple colors are there in that box. All the balls are different balls are there, but I'm interested to pick up only the ball that has a white color. So how do I put that where only the one which has a color equal to white? That we will put it into the where condition. Now let's go ahead and apply this where condition. Where email is not equal to null. Email is the API field name. So it should get. So how many records are there? 31 records are there. Perfect. So if you are still not clear, go ahead and here what you can do is add a filter. Let's take a email. Email. Does not contain null. Save 31 items, right? So 31 items are having the one which email does not the email that contains the email ID, there are total 31 records are there. So we got the total 31 records. Now, similar way, we have a different concept in the SOQL. Another one, if you know SQL in the .NET or whatever you know, this is the same as a SQL. SOQL is similar like a SQL. So we have something called a group by, right, in the SQL. So here also I'll apply something called group by. Group by is nothing but if I wanted to group it. If I have something similar name of the contact, similar first name is there, or similar email is there, or similar data is there for particular field. So I wanted to group it. So what we can use is group by, and then we can select the field based on which group by. So group by red color, group by white color, group by small. So kind of this. So whenever we use the group by, we have to use the condition, having condition we have to use. So having is the another keyword in the Salesforce. It is similar like a SQL. Having the condition, right? And other one we use the in case if I have all the emails, first name, last name, account ID is there, but I wanted to get it order of the first name, like starting with a small ascending order. Whatever the first name is there, I wanted to get all the records. Right now, what will happen? It will fetch the way it is there. Now, if I wanted to get the records based on some order, based on the first name ascending order. So what we can do is we can use another keyword which we have is order by. Order by. So order by is the one which is going to differentiate whether you want it in the ascending or descending. So you can mention order by the field name, for example, here the first name. And you can mention whether you want ascending or descending. You can mention whether you want ascending or descending. So ascending, descending is standard keywords. And in case if you want a limit, for now it is giving me. So for example, here, let's take a first name, like it is giving the row, scene, everything it is giving. Now if I say order by first name, I do not mention any ascending or descending. So what will happen if I do not mention ascending? First name. If I do not mention the ascending or descending, by default, it is going to take the ascending order. By default, it is going to take the ascending order. But in case if I mention the descending, then only that it is going to give me the descending order. Right? And now, based on the ascending, I wanted to get only the records of 10 records. I'm not interested in 31 records. So what I can do, I can mention limit of 5. Okay, this is the query, but I just need a first 5 records. So it is going to give me the first 5 records. Based on the sorting, based on the order, then it is going to give me the only 5 records. So this is how we call is a query string parameter.
Madam, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we give 2 conditions like here as we are going with our email equal to null, and if, along with that, can I give it like where first name is also null?
Yes, we can give. And first name equal to null. Let's execute it. So you are looking for only the first name equal to null. Otherwise,
no, first name should not equal to, that is.
You can put as many as conditions, but you have to separate it by the keyword called and.
Okay.
So you have to put the condition called and condition, then you have to execute it. So this is how we use a query string parameter in the query call. So the first condition, whatever I have mentioned in the notepad, the query call. So this is the one which I have shown here, query grid. So this is called as a query grid.
Okay.
So how to use the query call? This is the one. This is how we use the query call. In the query grid, go to the query grid and click on this query editor. But if you click on this checkpoint, you will not be able to write the information. You have to go to the query editor, then only write the query. Clear? In case if you wanted, if you are interested, for example, let's assume that I am looking for only the records that has starting with Amla or starting with A. So the one which are containing only the starting with A or A and I just need those information. So how can we give that? You can give another and condition in the where and let's say first name. So I'm looking for only the one starting of the AM. I'm not looking whatever it ends, but I need the first name which are starting with AM. So what I can do is first name like. I have to give like, and then we have to mention A inside the quotation AM and ending with percentage. Ending with percentage. What
Even
is
along
this
with
means?
along with it, we can add or also, I hope.
Yes. So first name like AM is nothing but what is this condition? So basically, what is the percentage here? Percentage is nothing but we do not know what is the value. There is some value is there, but I don't know what is the value there. So in that case, I know there is a record in the account object or in the contact. There is a record which starts with AM, but I do not remember the complete name. So what I can do, I'll just give a percentage. But in case I know what it is ending with, it is ending with something LA. But starting, I do not know what it is going to start it. So in that case, in the percentage, we will put at the starting and we will write a letters. So wherever we do not know the letter that has the information, let's suppose that I know starting letter, I know the ending letter, but I don't know what is comes inside the exact, maybe the spelling I might be writing wrong or spelling I do not know. So in that case, I write starting letter and ending letter. In between, there is a something is there, but I do not remember. So what I'll do, I'll give a percentage. I'll give a first name and I'll give a last name. In between, I'll give the percentage. So what will happen? It is going to give me the one which is starting with A and ending with A. And in between, whatever the letters are there, it is going to give me the some values. So that is how we write it. Now, in this case, if I wanted to like here, what is there only I'm getting the AM. But what I'm getting the AM, first it is filtering out the email not equal to null. And then it is filtering the first name not equal to null. And after getting the output of this, then it is going to filtering the first name like AM. Right? First, it is going to filter these all. Then finally, it is going to filter this. Now, I do not want to look at this first name not equal to null. I just wanted to look at only the one which has a first name like this. Because here you are looking for the first name not equal to null and maybe I have a different conditions. So in that case, what I can do is, okay, do this one where email not equal to null and first name not equal to null, do this, or else I just need the information where the first name like AM. So what will happen? It is going to give me all the information also. But what is the difference here? The difference is if I try to put this email here. So it is going to give me all the information which are starting with AM. This is not taking, right? Because I gave the condition only the email not equal to null and first name not equal to null, or this one. So which are the priority one of the limit 5 is there, that is what it is going to take. Now if I try to remove this, now we got Amala, 1, 2, Andy, Arthur, Ashley, right? So 5 records are there. If I try to remove this, execute, same records are there, right? If I try to add that also, I'm getting the same records. The reason is I have a OR condition. In the OR condition, what it does is basically it looks for the limit. How much limit am I expecting out of output of this query? Am I expecting the 5 records or 10 records? If it is a 5 records, what are the output? Who is giving that limit 5 records? Is this where condition is giving it, or is this where condition is giving it? If this is giving the information of limit 5, then go ahead and take this information. Or else if this first name like AM is giving the information, then go ahead and take the information. So it is going to decide it. This SOQL query is going to decide it if you give the OR condition, right? So now, for example, we have something called, let's take another example. Let's go ahead and write another query. So we have an opportunity object, right? If I have to query the opportunity object, how do I write it? Select. Let's take some fields on the Account.Billingcity. Okay, so Account.Billingcity. So what I'm doing here, from the opportunity. So we have an opportunity here. Let's take so let's take the opportunity. In the opportunity, we have there is a different status will be there, right? Different stages will be there on the opportunity. So let me open this and go to the details. So right now this is in the qualification stage. So there are different stages we will have, and each one is connected to the account. Each one is connected to the account. Now my query is, SOQL query is query the opportunity object, but look for the account. On the account level, I have some field called billing address. So when I'm querying the opportunity record, I wanted to look at the billing address of the account. Actually, I'm querying on the opportunity, but I am interested to know what is the billing address of the account. So for that, how do we write it? It has to have a enable the relationship. So before I write the SOQL query, this opportunity and account has to have a relationship, which is lookup relationship or master detail relationship. So that means there should be a lookup field here, account name. Then only we can pull the billing address. So right now I have the Account.Billingcity. I'm taking it from, let's say, opportunity, where stage name, my API name of the stage name equal to stage name. And right now I look for only the one which is closed on. Closed on. So I'll go ahead and query it. So there is some issue, Account.Billingcity.
Billingcity spelling, if you can check.
Billingcity, okay. Okay, so these all I have. For each account, for each opportunity ID, I'm going to get the Billingcity information. So these are the opportunities. If I try to copy this, these are the opportunities. Opportunities starts with 006. So these are my opportunity. Let me open that ID. Right. So this is my opportunity which has a closed wound. Now there is another field on the opportunity. I have an amount. I have an amount. So I'm going to put that field also. Now let's assume that I'm going to get the sum of amount. I just need a sum of amount or else. Okay, let's take this field. So we have a something called Chicago. Chicago is, there are multiple places we have a Chicago. Right. So what I'll do is group by Account.Billingcity. Billing city. What will happen? Field must be grouped and aggregated to ID. So what is it is expecting? So I cannot write the ID here. Now let's go ahead and execute it. Field must be grouped and aggregated the amount. So that means when I do the group by, I cannot take the amount field or I cannot take the single field. Instead of a amount, what I can write is sum. Because right now what is happening, I'm combining all the records. When I'm combining all the records, now here we have a individual records. Okay, let's take Chicago. Chicago is 3 places we have. Now when I'm combining, when I'm doing the group by of the billing city, what will happen? I'm combining this account billing city, but when I try to put amount, simple amount I'm trying to put, system is getting confused. Which amount should I need to take? Because this record has a 21 to like 10,000 and this record has something and this record has something. So which one do I need to take it? So which one do I need to take it is totally confused by the system. So that's the reason when we do the group by, do not give the single field information. Either we can give the sum or else remove that information. Let's go ahead and use the sum. Execute it. So now the Chicago is 65, 6,50,000. Is that the same one we got it? So how much here? 21 and this 90,000. How much? 30? Yeah, 30 and this 35. So 65. 65, I got it. So total amount of 65. Right? So when we are doing the group by, I'm doing the group by based on this. But if you are expecting the some field value, do not take the field value of specific like this. This way we should not be taking it when we are writing the group by. Clear? Any questions?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Now, in case if I just need a count of ID, I do not need all of this information. I just need a count of information, like count of ID, like in the system, how many opportunities are there? So I can simply write count of ID from opportunity. How many records are there? 41 records are there. 41 records are there. Right? Any questions?
Madam, no, I don't have. Only like last you were saying amount part, like, we have to go with a some kind of thing. You were saying only one field we should take. So mean to say like adding sum is not a field, sum is also a field or else what? Like, because you said one field we should not take because that is getting confused.
So when I say one field should not take in a sense, let me go ahead and give you. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. Now, what will happen if I try to write this line? Now, you tell me.
No,
So if I
here
try to
amount is,
execute this,
yeah, amount is one field. No, there it is getting confused. I got that.
okay. No,
But
how do
actually,
we now group by? But I need an amount. So how can I do that?
okay, okay. Means multiple amounts are there, so we can't group them.
No, I need a requirement is I wanted to go with the group by of building city, but I'm also interested to get the amount. For each city, how much amount profit that I got it. Let's say the scenario is in Hyderabad, how much profit did I get it when I close the opportunity? What is the total amount that I got it for the Hyderabad city or for Delhi or for different places or Chicago? How much did I get at the end of the day when I close the opportunity? So how much amount did I get it? How do I calculate that? How do I calculate it?
Yeah, that is sum is the means we should go with like.
So is the sum is the field or is sum is the different one?
Yeah, means I'm not sure about whether sum is the field. It's in
In
formula.
mathematics, what is the sum means?
Sum is add.
So here, what is the sum means?
Addition only.
So basically that is I'm multiplying or adding the all the amount of building city. Based on the building city, I am adding the count to the, how do I add it? So sum is the one which I can use the keyword.
Okay.
Right? Any other question?
No, ma'am.
How many levels of field like a query? Am I getting it? Parent to child, child to parent. How many levels? Please give to clarity. How many levels? Okay. So for example, when you say how many levels, let's go to the object. In this, okay, let's assume that opportunity is there. Now let's take this way. Account is connected to the contact, right? Account is connected to the contact. Let's assume that I have this structure. Account. And let's say here some object is there. Here some object is there. This is the A1. Okay, this is, let's assume that patient record. And this is the hospital information. Now forget about SOQL. I'm not asking about the SOQL. Now this is the account information. In the hospital object, this is the object. Okay. And this is also another object. And this is also another object. Now, if I wanted to get the information, at the object level of hospital, I wanted to get the information of account. So how do I get it in the object level? In the object level, can I create a lookup relationship? 2 more level downs. Is it possible? If I have another record here, which is connected to the account, let's say that this is the user information. Okay, this each one is connected. This is lookup to account is a lookup to user, and the parent is a lookup to account, and a hospital is a lookup to. Okay. Now on the object level, if I wanted to get the information which is for the specific patient, what is the account is connected, can I get the information in the hospital level? Basically, if I wanted to get the account related to this particular patient information, so how many level down I can create a lookup relationship? Creating a lookup relationship, how many levels down I can create it?
One level.
Venkatesh? How much level you down you can create it? One level. So if you wanted to get the 2 levels down, what you have to do? If you wanted to get the account information 2 level down, what you have to do? Based on the patient ID, I wanted to get the account. So what you have to do?
Connect the patient and account with the lookup.
So basically what you have to do is you have to first implement the connection between these two. So how do we implement the connection between these two is lookup relationship, right? We write the lookup relationship. So once this lookup relationship is enabled, that means these two have a connection. Now, once these two have a connection, now at the hospital level, I can have a patient ID. I can have the patient ID. So from the patient ID, I can go to the account. That means if I have to get the account ID, first I need to get the patient ID. Patient ID dot account name. Right here also I need to go one level down, account dot name. So probably possible from the formula field. The formula field I can implement it, but when I can implement only when I have a connection between these two, right? In the Salesforce also, one parent child, do it for only one parent child. That means right now I have the account and contact. Now when I'm writing it, select name, comma, phone, comma, fax from account. Okay. Now, if I have to get the contact information, you have to write the inner query. You have to write the inner query. Select ID from contact. But if you have a one more level down, so can I write it here? Can I write it here one more level down? No, do not do please. So that is, it is not supported and you do not, I do not suggest to do that. So only one level down, do it. So for example, I'm executing this. Select contact. Contact does not work. It has to be plural label. So contacts. For each account ID, here, for example, let's take this Accenture. Accenture, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, max of maybe more than 3. It has the information. Control A, let's copy. So one contact, second contact, 3 contacts are there. So Accenture has a 3 contacts. So one level down, you can go it. But if you wanted to go 2 more level, I would suggest take the contact ID, loop through the each contact ID, and then get what are the level down you wanted to do. But 1 level down is possible with the software. Clear? Vikas? Yes or no, because if you have any question, just let me know. Otherwise, we will move on to the admin classes. Any questions, Vikas? I'm waiting for your response.
One question, ma'am, for each and every record, there will be one ID.
Yes, every individual record, whatever we create in the Salesforce, that gets a unique 18-digit ID is generated by Salesforce for each record. Because as soon as the record is created, it has to store somewhere, right? Because whenever we are trying to pull that record information in future, then we need to get those information. So that's the reason whenever we create a record from the Salesforce is going to generate a 18-digit ID for that.
Okay, got it.
I'm not getting your question, because can you explain it? Can you unmute it?
So, am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes, I have one user. That user creates many objects or many records.
When you say many objects, many records, where it is on the
Like
user level?
yes, user level.
Can you repeat that? User is there. Okay, user is created the account records.
Yes, account records, opportunity records, contact records. But in between account, contact, and opportunity, they don't have any relation in between.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I'm the user creating these three objects records. So am I getting, by using user ID, am I getting three objects records?
When you say do not have a relationship.
Yes, account and opportunity contact not have any relation. Okay, I'm the user creating these three objects records. By
The
using
answer
user
is in
ID,
the question itself. So you are the user. Okay, you are creating the account, contact,
contact.
and opportunity.
Okay.
Okay, there is no relationship with this.
Yes.
So what you wanted to do?
I want to get the account and contact opportunity records by using user ID.
By using the user ID.
Yes.
Okay.
User ID or owner ID. Like.
Owner ID. Okay.
Oh.
So how do you want to implement this? Tell me your thought process. How do you implement it? When there is a no relationship with this, how do you implement it? Is it possible to get it everything in the one SOQL file? What is the SOQL is nothing but? SOQL is nothing but object query. Right? SOQL we can implement on single object. We can implement on single object. So when you say I have a three objects,
Okay.
and there is no relationship, your question is it possible to get it in one query? Based on the SOQL definition, is it possible to query all the object information in one query without any relationship?
Yes.
It's not possible. Because this is whatever we are writing it is from the specific object I am mentioning it. From the specific object. When I say contacts here, that means in this object, I have a relationship with the contacts. I have a relationship with the contacts. So that's the reason we are able to do this. But here there is no relationship. You are asking me to query the account contact opportunity based on the user ID, which is not possible using the SOQL. There is another concept which has a SOQL. SOQL is not a depending on the object level. Search, this is nothing but a search. This is nothing but a query object. So whatever you said right now, the business scenario, that could be possible using the SOQL. But I'll cover the SOQL later. Right now, using the SOQL, we cannot do that.
Okay. Okay.
It's not at all possible. Fine. Okay then. So let's move on to the advanced segment. Before I move on, anybody has any other questions?
No, ma'am.